The average Angel Reese game is 10,100, 10,200. They come to watch her. You know what the average attendance is when Caitlin Clark plays home or the road?
What?
15,300.
Wow.
Okay? 15,300. Right there, look at this. Caitlin Clark gets 15,591 fans in attendance, 105% increase. Compared to the average game is 76.45. And to Angel Reese, it's only 10,000 people is what the contract is. Okay? This is WNBA is paying Caitlin Clark $28 million. Good for freaking.
What do LeBron James and Caitlin Clark share? Both revolutionized their leagues as rookies. However, while LeBron was celebrated, Clark's introduction has stirred controversy. Why is the Caitlin Clark phenomenon facing resistance from some WNBA players? The answer might just surprise you.
I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane for the first time in their league history. You know, they flew private. That should be celebrated in its own right. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. But for her individually, I don't think she should get involved on nothing that's being said.
Let's dive into Clark's record-breaking game. The impact was phenomenal. Attendance surged and viewership soared. It was as if she flipped a switch, drawing unprecedented attention to women's basketball. But here's the twist. Not everyone in the league is celebrating this surge of interest.
Yesterday, upset with the fact that Stephen A. Smith hasn't been talking about WNBA enough for the last few years, and she's calling him out, and it got pretty nasty. Rob, I'm going to text this to you. You have this? Go ahead and play this clip. Go for it.
We're talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that.
We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
She's talking all that trash. Could you imagine if it was reverse racist? If that was a white girl.
White supremacist.
You might wonder, should they be thrilled? The reality is more complicated. Clark's success could revolutionize women's basketball, yet it's causing a stir. Some players are keeping their distance, and the league is grappling with how to manage this rookie dynamo. Curious about what's really happening behind the scenes? Stay tuned as we uncover the juicy details.
To face a level of racism from black players, and she's going to face a level of hostility from lesbian players because she's not on team LGBTQ. She's a Catholic. She's got some boyfriend. She's going to walk into a extremely hostile environment. And so when it was Tiger Woods walking into a hostile environment of the PGA Tour, we talked about it, we covered it, we covered it sympathetically, we criticized the people that were against Tiger Woods. As it relates to Caitlin Clark, who could come and make the WNBA.
Now, let's crunch the numbers. Caitlin Clark's stats are nothing short spectacular. But what's really raising eyebrows in the WNBA isn't just her points. It's what these record-breaking performances signify for the future of women's basketball. Clark's shooting percentage is extraordinary, hitting 62.7% from within 5 feet, making her the top guard in two-point field goal efficiency. That's not just impressive, it's elite. And it's not only her shooting that's making waves.
What have the Fever figured out?
Stan, they've figured out each other. Caitlin Clark talked about it after the game. She said, we're finally understanding each other. The best dynamic duo right now has been Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. Coming out of this Olympic break, watching those two play off of each other. They look rested. Kelsey Mitchell has been on fire. Caitlin Clark is...
Clark's playmaking is shattering records. She set a WNBA mark for rookie assists with a staggering 232. That's right, minus 232 assists. Imagine the impact on her team. It's as if she has eyes everywhere, effortlessly setting up teammates for easy scores. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Clark's style isn't just impressive, it's revolutionary. Comparisons to the NBA legends like Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, and Steve Curry aren't just hype. They are rooted in her exceptional court vision, game control, and long-range shooting. Clark is redefining the game, setting herself apart with a level of versatility and impact rarely seen.
And Angel break these rookie records has been phenomenal, but when it comes to Indiana and Chicago, Indiana is the more complete and together basketball team on both sides of the ball, which makes them a dangerous team in the playoffs. Chicago still fighting to hold on to that playoff spot.
You might be thinking, okay, she's great, but what's the broader impact? Brace yourself. The Caitlin Clark effect is both real and spectacular. The Atlanta Dream set a record for the largest crowd at a WNBA game in Georgia history, with 7,576 fans flocking to see Clark play. That's not just a large crowd. It's a game-changing statement. It's not a fluke. Last season, the Indiana Fever, Clark's team, had just one nationally televised game. This season, they're featured in 36 out of 40 games on national TV. That's a dramatic turnaround, and it's all thanks to Clark.
This is a phenomenon. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon. And if I said to any of these people who think Caitlin Clark is not the Rookie of the Year, I'd say, who would you want to start your franchise with? Now, I'm not going to put Asia Wilson in there. I'm just saying between these two. Angel Reese is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlin Clark is.
Let's zoom out. Clark isn't just changing numbers and TV deals. She's reshaping how we see women's basketball. Each game she plays becomes a must-watch event, with 2.2 million viewers tuning in, a first for the WNBA. Her shooting range is redefining the game, hitting shots from distances once deemed impossible, as if she's on a different court entirely.
Caitlin Clark now has the rookie record, the history of the WNBA, as she's now going to try to set the all-time.
Clark's success isn't just changing the game. It's transforming the entire landscape of women's basketball. She's not merely a standout player. She's a phenomenon, pushing the limits of what's possible for women in sports with every record and crowd she attracts. You might expect the league to be united in celebration, but here's the twist. Clark's meteoric rise is stirring up some serious drama. Behind the scenes, not everyone is thrilled. Her explosive entrance is leaving some players feeling overshadowed and causing rifts within the WNBA. Angel Reese, a fellow player, made it clear when she said that women's basketball isn't just about one person. It's about all of us. Feel the tension in that statement?
To the WNBA, which nobody was talking about the WNBA just in a joking manner. She has made the WNBA and they hate it. What's the girl, PBD? The number one draft of last year. Was it last year?
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese was talking crap about her. She's like, it's not just her. What about me? The
national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want you.
It's not just hurt feelings. Clark's aggressive play style is literally shaking things up on the court. Take the time she got a technical foul for punching the basket in frustration. Most players might get deflated, but Clark, she thanked the ref, saying it fired her up to play even harder. That fierce competitive spirit is creating waves in the league.
This company, this corporation called the WNBA, is not profitable. They don't make money. They've never made money. They're fully subsidized by their daddy. And I get, like, they're just shoving Caitlin Clark down people's throats because she's a cash cow. Great. They're going to market the hell out of this white chick. That's whatever she is. She puts the ball in the hole.
You might be asking, is this just about basketball, or is there something deeper at play? The debate touches on significant issues of race and gender in sports. While some see the backlash against Clark as simple jealousy, others argue it reflects broader societal problems. So, what's the real story? Is Clark's rise a boon or a bane for the WNBA? It's complex. On one hand, players like Angel Reese feel overshadowed, as their years of hard work seem eclipsed by this rookie's meteoric rise. It's easy to see why that might hurt.
And I think she is going to literally turn this thing around, not because of the stupid controversial bump, but bro, people are selling out to watch this girl play.
On the flip side, some view Clark as a rising tide that could lift all boats. Her popularity is drawing unprecedented attention to the league. More fans, more TV deals, and potentially more money for everyone. And here's where it gets intriguing. This tension isn't just about drama. It's igniting crucial discussions about equity and representation in women's sports. People are beginning to ask tough questions about who gets the spotlight and why.
The fact that there's some lift that's coming here.
Think about it. When was the last time women's basketball received this much attention? Clark's impact is making everyone reassess the sport. She's not just transforming the game on the court. She's reshaping the entire conversation around women's athletics.
Curious about, which you said when we had the conversation a couple months ago. Guys, she's going to make nothing. She's going to make the minimum wage. Great.
She makes $73,000 a year, but her contract for Nike.
But it's going to change. It's going to change because they had more people go to a Los Angeles Sparks game this year than the Lakers. There was more people attending a Sparks game this year than Lakers. Did you hear about this? But when you get people butts and seats, pay for people changes, cash flow changes. So
change is never easy, especially when it happens so rapidly. Some players feel sidelined, and their concerns are valid. The challenge now is to celebrate Clark's success without overshadowing the achievements of others. Just when it seemed the WNBA was facing an internal crisis, a surprising twist emerged. What if the drama surrounding Caitlin Clark is exactly what the league needs? This conflict could be transforming into the biggest opportunity in WNBA history. The league has been struggling financially, losing around $50 million a year. That's not a minor setback, it's a full-blown crisis. But here's the twist. Caitlin Clark might just be the game changer the WNBA has been waiting for.
To win a tournament. And so people need to see, I think history is repeating itself, and Caitlin Clark could be raising the tide and lifting all boats. And I think Angel Reese needs to take a pill because there is a great opportunity here, and I think jealousy is reigning supreme here.
Let's dive into the numbers. Clark isn't just popular, she's a phenomenon. Take that game against the Atlanta Dream, which drew a record-breaking 7,576 fans. That's not just a big crowd. It's a game-changing statement. Fans are flocking to see Clark, translating into significant revenue for the league. But it's not only about ticket sales. Clark's influence extends far beyond the court. The Indiana Fever, her team, has seen a 225% increase in corporate partnerships. That's not just growth. It's a surge of interest, all thanks to one rookie. Now, how does this affect other players? Here's where it gets intriguing. Clark isn't just boosting her own profile. She's shining a spotlight on the entire league. And that spotlight is exposing some uncomfortable truths about player salaries.
I think I don't think the WNBA is ready for this type of attention that she's bringing to them. That attitude. There was another player that was crying after a regular season game, and you said the R word, Tom. I don't know why you were blocking it. Racism. Everybody's talking about, like Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, which we'll get into, Pat, after we go. He's just going on these panels and going, you know what? First he's bashing Trump, and then he goes into Caitlin Clark, and she's everything about her is white, and he's going on these anti-white race things about her and how black personalities would be more successful if they were white. It's unattractive. It's making this victim
young lady, and she's been a magnet in a way that has benefited the league in ways that others have not, even though their efforts have been worthy and deserving of being as celebrated, if not even more celebrated. And it's a reminder that no matter how far we believe that we have advanced as a society, there's still such a long way to go, because in the end,
look, this guy's embarrassing, bro.
You're bright, you're right, and as a result, the shine comes your way in the eyes of a lot of people.
Clark's impact is undeniable. She's been outspoken about the need for better pay in the WNBA, and the disparity is stark. Her rookie salary is just $76, while her endorsement deals are worth millions. This gap has sparked a conversation about the value of women's sports. But here's the twist. Clark's success isn't just highlighting the problem. It's paving the way for a solution. With the heightened attention she's brought to the league, there's increased pressure to raise player salaries. More fans, sponsors, and TV deals mean the WNBA might finally have the resources to address this issue. Speaking of TV deals, let's talk visibility. Last season, the Indiana Fever had one nationally televised game. This season, they got 36 out of 40 games on national broadcast. That's not just an increase, it's a transformation driven by the Caitlin Clark effect. And it's not just about the fever. Clark's popularity is elevating the entire league. More eyes on the games mean more advertising revenue, merchandise sales, and growth opportunities. Clark's success is creating a ripple effect that benefits everyone. You might wonder about the tension we mentioned earlier. Yes, there's been pushback, and some players feel overlooked. But here's the thing. All this drama is keeping the WNBA in the headlines. And in the world of sports, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Enough with the racist BS. She's nasty. She knows how to ball. Everybody else is jealous. They're pissed off because she's getting this, like, it's ridiculous. And we're never going to advance as a species, and we're never, if he keeps having that type of attitude. It's ridiculous. It's like, what? Everything has to go back to race? Everything has to keep going back to race. She's really good.
Think about it. When was the last time women's basketball received this much buzz? The controversies, record-breaking performances, and packed arenas are creating a perfect storm of attention for the WNBA. While financial challenges remain, there's a newfound optimism about the league's future. Caitlin Clark's impact has made the WNBA hotter than ever, and surprisingly, the drama is fueling progress. More fans, more money, and more visibility. Clark has ignited a revolution in the sport.
Look, Angel Reese, there's nothing that she does where you go, did you see her? Other than she plays really, really hard, and I liken her game to Moses Malone. Moses Malone was relentless. So it's not that I don't appreciate who she is or how she plays. There is no one like Caitlin Clark.
Here's where it gets fascinating. Clark isn't just altering the game on the court. She's transforming the entire conversation around women's sports. Consider this. When was the last time women's basketball garnered this much attention? It's not just talk. With a $28 million deal from Nike, Clark is making game-changing moves. So, here's the big question. Is Caitlin Clark merely changing the game, or is she rewriting the rules for what's possible in women's sports? And are we ready for this revolution?
Yesterday, upset with the fact that Stephen A. Smith hasn't been talking about WNBA enough for the last few years, and she's calling him out, and it got pretty nasty. Rob, I'm going to text this to you. You have this? Go ahead and play this clip. Go for it.
We're talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that.
We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
She's talking all that trash. Could you imagine if it was reverse racist? If that was a white girl.
White supremacist.
Here's where it gets fascinating. Clark isn't just altering the game on the court. She's transforming the entire conversation around women's sports. Consider this. When was the last time women's basketball garnered this much attention? It's not just talk. With a $28 million deal from Nike, Clark is making game-changing moves. So, here's the big question. Is Caitlin Clark merely changing the game, or is she rewriting the rules for what's possible in women's sports? And are we ready for this revolution?